Hey, kia ora, Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Sun City in Arizona. We don't need that light on. Hope you're all having a super fantastic, sparkling Magic Monday. Yes, that day of the week where we ignite the spark that's going to keep the fires burning through the week, getting all that stuff done that we want to get done and everything else. So how has your Magic Monday been? What sparks have you lit today? Is your planner all up to date with all your appointments and everything? Do you have new connections in there? Do you have money-making activities in there? Do you have networking events in there? What are you doing this week to help move your business forward? And I'm just like sitting here going, I have a lot of them. But no, today's been really good. It has been a federal holiday, and we did kind of have the day off. And a little bit of work in the morning, and then in the afternoon I was on the chat on an as needed basis. So basically I wasn't on the chat at all. I wasn't on the chat, but if it did, I was monitoring. So if it dinged, I would have a look at it. If it's something that could wait until tomorrow, it got put off till tomorrow. If it was something that needed a little more urgent attention, it got dealt with there and then. And then said, okay, this has been done and the rest of it will take place tomorrow when the office is open. So at least they got a response and it's not just going into the ether. So yeah, I think I had like about 6 chats the entire afternoon, but I got my grocery shopping done. I'm super excited. I'm starting a new eating plan. I've been doing the let's see how this goes by Helen, by myself plan. And decided I needed a little more accountability. So I got a new eating plan, and so I went to my grocery shopping for that. It's kind of exciting because everything came in, and although she did end up buying a bigger, because I did it through Instacart, they did end up buying a bigger thing of spinach than what I requested. So I ended up getting a container twice the size of what I requested, but that's okay, because I'm going to be eating a lot of spinach this week. There's a lot of places I can put spinach in, and I have these really cool containers for the refrigerator that help keep food fresher longer. So I pulled them out and I broke them up into, there's a recipe where I need 3 cups of spinach, another one I need 2 cups, and another one 2 cups. And then there's another 3-cup one, and then there's several 1-cup ones. So I've used the different size containers to help put mainly 2 cups and some 1 cups. And I've got one container that has 3 cups in it, and I wrote on the lid what was in each one because I'll be using it week over week over week. So we'll see how that goes. And so I'm really excited. I kind of sort of started it today, but not having breakfast till 10 o'clock really screwed me up because I had to wait for my eggs to cook. I got my little egg cooker out and hard boiled some eggs. I need to do some more eggs too. I only have 3 sitting in the fridge. And that reminds me, I have to get yes. And so I've got my Instapot, which will do like a dozen eggs at a time, but sometimes it's just a little too much. So I've got this little egg cooker. It's about the size, and it holds 6 large eggs in there, and you've got a little cup thing to measure and put the water in the bottom for it. And then it's got this little needle thingy in the base of the cup that you take the cap off, and then you prick a hole into the widest part of the egg. So you turn the egg upside down, so the narrow piece is at the bottom and the wide piece at the top, and you prick this hole in it, and then you set it so the hole's facing up inside the egg cooker, and then you turn it on, and it beeps when it's done, and you just put it in the cold water. And so that was turtling along quite nicely today, and I thought, oh, maybe I'll do another 6 eggs, but I kind of ran out of time on that one. I kind of forgot as well. But it's been good because my fridge was down to the point where I knew I was going to be starting this plan. I just had to wait for it to arrive. And so all weekend I've just been going into the fridge and just eating whatever was in there, basically, is what I've been doing. I ended up getting a rotisserie chicken today, just so I didn't have to break out, because I'm having a chicken salad for dinner tonight, and I didn't really want to do any cooking with the way the day's been going. And so I thought, I'll just get a rotisserie chicken. I can measure out the amount that I want and eat that with my salad. And So we'll do that tonight. That was a convenience thing. Although Zeffie did enjoy having some of the skin off, and it was a unseasoned rotisserie chicken, and so Zeffie enjoyed some of the skin that she got off that. Oh my gosh, you should have seen her face. She didn't know what to do with it, and all her teeth were bared. As she, because I'm hanging on to it, and all of her teeth are bared, and she's like, with it. It was so funny. And her eyes were like wide saucers. It was hilarious. But I think she enjoyed it. um, but yeah, so I kind of skipped somewhere, but I did make myself a protein shake earlier while I was waiting for the groceries to be delivered, and so we'll definitely be on track tomorrow. But it's going to be because yes, I have to remember to pull my scales out tonight because I got to do weigh-ins and measuring and all that stuff. And I totally forgot to do that this morning, so I have to do that tonight before Zeffie goes and gets on the bed, because I actually have to lift up the bottom of the bed, and she'll be up at the head, and she'll try and walk up. As I'm lifting the bed, she'll try and walk up the bed, which will then push it back down again, and yeah, not having that. So I'll go get it while she's up on the window up there and pull it out. So I've got it for tomorrow morning. But I ended up doing a COVID test because we have, from reports that I've heard from people that I normally see when I'm out walking Zeffie, like last week I was out walking Zeffie, and this guy said to stay back because he had COVID. I was like, okay, thank you. And he had his dog fully extended on a 6-foot leash. There was about a foot between the dogs, and then of course there was Zeffie's leash, which was 6 foot long, and plus my arm because she had me fully stretched. So we were probably about 12 feet away from each other, which was fine. But I thought, okay, we're just going to isolate, stay away from people, and all that. So whenever I've been talking to people, I've maintained at least 6 feet between us. And one of our friends who live over the street over here, she was out walking a different dog, and I said to her, and this was like a couple of nights later, and I said to her, what did you do to Buddy? And she turned around and said, oh, no, this isn't Buddy, this is Mayhem. Mayhem is the sweetest, the complete opposite of its name. It is the sweetest dog you've ever met. It's a black lab, and he is just absolutely adorable and so patient and quiet. And Zeffie's like bouncing all around the place like she usually does when she meets dog, like complete. And Mayhem just stands there and just wags his tail and not really interested in playing, but they had the sweetest temperament. And I said, well, that's kind of the wrong name for a dog, isn't it? And she says, yeah, Mayhem is the complete opposite. But it turns out that Mayhem's owner had COVID so bad that she wasn't able to get up and walk the dog. And the first day she was like literally bedridden. She had texted my friend, but my friend didn't get to see it till later. So she walked over there like around 2:30 when she finally got the message. Dog had not been out at all that morning at all. And so she found out that the woman had COVID, and so says, well, I'll come over 3 times a day and walk Mayhem for you. And so they made sure that she left the leash by the door, and then she would just come to the door and open it, put the leash on Mayhem, and take him out so she didn't have to go inside or anything. So I said, well, that's 2 people now that I know of with COVID. She says, well, who else? So I was telling her about this other person, and she said, oh, do they both have it? I said, I don't know if husband and wife have it, but husband, yes. That's what he told me. And she's like, oh, there seems to be a lot of COVID cases here in the resort. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm self-isolating anyway, just as a precaution. But today I started feeling a little crappy, a bit of a headache and sinuses. And I was thinking, well, maybe it's because, one, I haven't eaten, or I hadn't eaten properly at that point, and 2, allergies, because the air quality around here is crap right now. And so I was trying to figure out, is it allergies? Is it the fact I haven't eaten and I'm feeling so crappy? And that's when I went and made a smoothie and had my smoothie, and that helped a little bit, but I still very congested, getting headaches now and then, and it was like coming and going. I just wanted to go lay down. And so I thought, oh, let's, we bought the pack of COVID. We bought a 5-pack of COVID tests, so let's take another one just to double check, make sure we're still negative. And so I sat down, did another COVID. It came back negative. It was really quick on the negative too. It was like you watch that, you put the drops in and you watch that little thing go up, and then you see the control line come across, and then the little pink thing keeps going pink, and all of that, and you sit there 15 minutes staring at this thing and no changes. So I was like, okay, we're definitely negative. We're good. So we're in the process of doing all of my usual combat the cold thing before it takes root, in case there is a cold trying to take root. I'm feeling a lot better since I also feel better too since I ate something as well. And so we'll see. I'm just going to monitor and see how things go. Temperature is fine. Oxygen pulse is fine. I haven't done my blood pressure today, but the other ones I've done all normal. So I'm sort of like, okay, we're looking at allergies or the fact that I haven't eaten properly today. Definitely up on the water. Water definitely not a problem there at all. So water intake, not an issue. So we're just going to monitor for the next few days and see how we go. And again, keep staying away from people, maintaining those distances so that there's no chance of contracting COVID. But so far, touch wood, we've been lucky. We've been very fortunate because I always say that I have a super immune system. And that's, I think, what's kept me healthy a good portion of the time is that I have a super immune system. And if I start feeling crappy like I am now, so tonight it'll be the cotton balls where I split in half and I put a drop of Melaleuca on each of them and put them over the opening for my ears. And we'll be sleeping with those in tonight. And that will go in and it'll help clear any infection coming into the ears. It's especially susceptible to inner ear infection, which causes vertigo for me. So I have to make sure that I don't allow it to take root, because that could be a little fun trying to take Zeffy for a walk, considering the fact that she is only 38 pounds, but she's all muscle. She pulls, and she's pulled me off balance a couple of times. But I have to grant, I wasn't standing at the time, I was bending over at the time. And when she decided to suddenly take off, I almost face planted into the ground. She's so funny. But yeah, so if I do have to go out walking with vertigo, it's going to be very interesting, and I'm going to have to take my walking stick with me. My walking stick is this big wooden stick that I have. It's got a rubber foot on the bottom of it, and I've had that one for a number of years. And it's just a piece of branch from somewhere. But yeah, I've got a wooden walking stick, so I'll be taking that with me just to help with the balance. If I can't get the ear infection, cut off any possible ear infection. So we're definitely putting the Melaleuca in the ears tonight. And it's not in the ears, it's on a cotton ball that goes over the ear opening so that the fumes from the oils go into the ears and not the actual oil itself. You never, ever, 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 ever put oil straight into your ear. Put it on a cotton ball, and stick it over the opening for your ear, and the vapor from the oils will go down into the ear canals and do all the work that it's supposed to do. And that's what I found works for me. Is it a cure for ear infections? No clue. I just know what works for me, and that's how I use it. And it helps clear up not only does it help clear up my ear canals and get rid of any infection, it also goes into the sinuses and helps clear them out too. So voice is a little froggy today, I noticed, and that's probably because all the goop from the sinuses draining, because they're a little packed right now. So anyway, just one of those fun things that you have to put up with life. And but thankfully I have a super immune system, so it's working very well and doing what it's supposed to do. And I feel like a little crappy right now, but wait until tomorrow morning. I'll be bouncing out of that bed again. I have not had a nap today. I've just been busy pottering around doing this and that, and doing a few tasks for work. Didn't have many chats I had to actually intervene with. Most of them got put onto hold till tomorrow, because I went stuff that had to be answered today. And then I just got all my groceries put away. But now the woman who delivered my groceries did a really good job. She had these bags that would be either hot or cold, and she put my rotisserie chicken into one. It was still hot when she took it out of there. And then in the other one, she had some cold stuff. She had some cold stuff in there, but she did not. But my frozen pineapple pieces were not in any cold bags. They were just in a regular shopping bag, a little mushy. I could feel that they'd thawed out a little bit, so they're now in the freezer, refreezing. I know you shouldn't refreeze food, going back to sanitation, food and safety and sanitation 101, don't refreeze food. But they weren't fully thawed, so I just put them back into the freezer to make sure they stayed frozen. But yes, I'm looking forward to. I get to do smoothies and I get to have chocolate. 5 nights a week, I get to have chocolate for dessert, and I'm super excited. And they asked me what type of chocolate, and I said it's got to be at least 80% dark chocolate, and no added sugar if I can get the no added sugar. And all of that sort of stuff. So it's been a lot of fun working on this, because you actually have a coach that works with you. What foods will you eat, and what is on your do not eat list or your allergy food list? And so the menu has been completely customized to foods that I love to eat, except for the junk food stuff. So no chips, no ice cream, no fast food. But that's okay. Everything else on there I love. And I totally forgot about Saturday. Saturday was an important day, because Saturday was the 18th of June. And this whole week for me is a little bit crazy emotion-wise, because the 18th of June in 2017 was the last Father's Day that Brad got to celebrate with his grandson. And it was the last time his grandson got to see him. He hasn't met any of his 3 grandsons that have come after that, because the 3 youngest ones were all born after Brad passed. So Saturday the 18th of June was the day that was 5 years since Brad had seen Darmic and Darmic had seen Brad. That was the last time they got to spend time together, and I've got a gorgeous picture of the 2 of them from that day, so I'm very happy to have that photo. The 23rd, coming up on the 21st, tomorrow, it will be 5 years since Brad had the procedure that 2 days later put him into hospital for the beginning of his 87-day stay. So it's going to be a bit of an emotional roller coaster this week, because of those significant dates coming up. And I was kind of feeling a little weird last week, and I couldn't figure out why. Then I looked at the calendar and went, oh, that's why. So, when you get close to certain dates and anniversaries and stuff, things start coming back to you. You start remembering a lot of stuff from before. The emotions are up and down like a yo-yo. It's that grief thing. And then you start forgetting things again, and that's the widow brain thing coming in. Yes, there is such a thing. Don't worry. Brad one time told the nurse that there was no hope for him because he was blonde and chemo-brained. So I had a blonde chemo-brain guy, and then they doped him up on Benadryl before his chemo treatments. So I had a blonde, chemo-brained, dopey husband on my hands on chemo days. But it was good. I got to I would poke fun at him about it, and he was a good sport about it. Half the time he never remembered any of it afterwards. But I would tell him the funny stories and things that we got up to, or the antics that he got up to. Like, I would be driving home, and we were living in Virginia at the time. And so we'd left the doctor's office, and I was getting onto Route 66 to head home. And I was just merging on the right-hand side, and he wakes up and he goes, "Get in the left lane," which is the HOV lane. He says, "Get in the left lane." And I'm like, "Shut up, I'm driving, go back to sleep." And so he did, and he never stirred until we got home. And then him trying to insist that he was going to drive. I'm like, yeah, that ain't going to happen. And the nurse and I would be on each side of him. I'm only 5'4". The nurse was about the same size as I am. And we're staring the 6'5" giant down the corridor out the back door into the parking area where the car was, and we're going like this down the hallway. And he's insisting the whole way down the hallway that he is fully capable of driving. We're like, I don't think so. And when we get into the passenger seat, it's like, oh, I'm meant to be in the driver's seat. I says, shut up and get in the car. And so he got in the car and says, now buckle up. And he buckled up, and I says, now stay there. I'm driving. So we used to have arguments about whether or not he was fit to drive when he was doped up on Benadryl. It was very enlightening. But anyway, I'm out of here. So go light your spark for this week. What stuff do you have on What stuff do you have on your agenda this week that you can use the sparks that you've lit for today to help make things easier for you as the week comes? What the heck? I've got dog food underneath my feet again. Zeffie's still, for a while she stopped, and now she started it again where she takes a mouthful of food and goes and drops it on the floor and then picks out the pieces that she wants. And she leaves these little tiny round things about this. Those things hurt when you step on them. They're like, yeah, they're hard little balls, and I'm always stepping on the things. I'm always having to stop and pick them up. I don't want to vacuum every day, but every day I have to stop and pick these little ball things up from her food that she won't eat. And then other times she'll eat them. I don't know. Picky eater at times. But anyway, take those sparks that you have, go out, light them, and help them to fuel your creativity this week, your inspiration this week, inspiring you to get things done this week, and getting stuck into that to-do list. And see if you can get them all done before Friday. So when Friday comes around, you kind of got a day off on Friday, or you can make a head start on the following week, getting your planner sorted out, that sort of stuff. So use that spark to light a fire underneath you and get moving. So go have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow for Tune Up Tuesday. Hey, Conetta.